2013, we had an opportunity to visit the United States of America through the United States Department of State Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs, a community solutions program that is implemented by ARIX. ARIX is the International Research and Exchanges Board. While in the US, I had the privilege to work with Ideas for Us. Ideas is intellectual decisions on environmental solutions awareness. Having worked with Ideas and working with young Americans, I soon developed this project called Building a Sustainable Liberia. You know, to build a house, you need to firstly start with pillars. And in Building a Sustainable Liberia, we have 5 pillars. Building a Sustainable Liberia is a project modeled after Ideas' initiative in the United States of America. Here in Liberia, in 2014, we started a pilot project with 6 schools, 5 in Painesville City and 1 in Copper Farm. Gradually, Building a Sustainable Liberia yielded fruit, utilizing and creating an ecosystem of innovations in the area of energy, water, food, waste, and ecology. We soon developed and nurture young environmentalists in Painesville. The momentum from the project had us to win a fellowship from the U.S. State Department that was funded through ARIX called Partnering for Stronger Community Grant Program. Through that initiative, we welcomed 2 young Americans from Ideas for Us. Clayton Louis Ferrara, the Executive Director of Ideas for Us, and Christopher Stamper, the International Director of Ideas for Us. They visited Liberia separately for 2 weeks and 3 weeks, and with that, we were able to nurture young environmentalists in Liberia. We planted trees, we planted organic school gardens, and we launched on campuses Clean Toilet Initiative, washing hand facility, and clean drinking water. In addition to that, we also have field trips for students in Painesville. The U.S. Ambassador soon launched our program. The former U.S. Ambassador Deborah Malai felt passionate about our grassroots initiative, and she decided to launch Building a Sustainable Liberia program. With the launch of Building a Sustainable Liberia project in 2014, we soon mobilized a lot of young people to have more knowledge on renewable energy and talk about energy asset stock. We soon built Water Defender to have more young people talking about clean drinking water and also talking about how we can protect our groundwaters and also talking about capturing rain waters. In addition to that, we created what we call Water Defenders. We also mobilized young people on campus through setting up environmental clubs on campus. Through that initiative, more young people join the environmental club. The environmental club makes sure that they reduce, repurpose, and reuse waste on campus.
And put it in here, and it will be collected, and some of it can be recycled, and then it keeps your campus clean, and it also helps the environment. So it's a very important habit.
Today, most of the schools that we deal with are plastic free. So we believe that Building a Sustainable Liberia project actually came to fruition through the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia. With a grant of $11,084 in 2015, we launched Building a Sustainable Liberia extended component in rural Montserrat.
We talked about the importance of preserving the environment and where you live. You have these bathrooms. It is important that you use them on the grass and it rains. That has bacteria in it and it runs down into the plants and you can get germs from it. You have roaches, flies, and other insects.
Today, at my background, is the corn farm. The corn farm, where you see, today is the first harvest of organic corn grown strictly by students themselves from the Environmental Club. We believe that with your support, we can even do more. We already have 7.5 acres of farmland being cultivated by students themselves. On the other side is a group of people working to ensure that they also help in building a sustainable Liberia through energy, water, food, waste, and ecology. We have right now this corn farm over 7 acres of corn that's been planted here. Though there was a fire incident a few months ago, but we started to replant through our own resilience. And on the 5 school campus, Newmantown Public School also have a natural waterfront park that was named after Paul Hanschel, the Public Affairs Officer of the U.S. Embassy currently. We have also creating what we call young people to taking the lead, that after this project, the whole project will be sustainable, and the way it's sustainable is through this kind of initiative. So proceeds from this corn farm and many organic farms that we've created for students go directly back to the environmental club in the school. And with the help of school administrator and school sponsor for the environmental club, we believe deeply that we can even do quite more better to ensuring that we have students running their own affairs at their school and trying to make sure they make their school sustainable.
This is our farm. We have 3 farms. We have the first cassava farm on our school campus, and the second cassava farm over there. And we also have the corn farm. If we get there, you will see the corn.
In rural Montserrat, I've also been able to talk more about renewable energy. Many folks in rural Montserrat don't have energy. The main source of energy here is charcoal and firewood. And many students here will use kerosene as a means to study and candlelight. So we want to be able to innovate, and because we believe young people have the innovation, they have the enthusiasm, and they have the energy it takes to make this world a better place. So utilizing their skill and harnessing their talent have really been able to help us in this project. With that, many young people now in rural Montserrat, in the 5 schools we did in Bentor Public School, in Frank E. Tauber Public School that's in Bentor City, Newmantown Public School, Kings Farm Public School, Kingsville Public School, and All God's Steering School at 15 Gate. Many of them are quite aware about different forms of renewable energy through our Energy Asset Stock initiative. We also launched what we call Clean Water Summit to raise more awareness. As you know, Liberia have abundance of water, but yet and still, our country suffers a lot.
As you know, drinking unclean water makes you unhealthy, can make you sick, then you miss school, then your education suffers, and then as a result the entire community suffers in large. So it's always great to see that there's a clean source of drinking water, especially for the young students. So very happy to be able to dedicate this today.
So young people have to be involved to talk more about clean water and how we can be able to obtain clean water and how we can stop the abuse and misuse of water that we have at our fingertip. So in addition to that, we've also started to teach students how to capture rainwater, and we also started to initiate irrigation system in our farming system so that many young people are aware as to how we can be able to use water also to grow our food. We have been able to establish trash bin on campuses in rural Montserrat, so students do no longer have to throw dirt around campus, but they also have the opportunity to be able to put the dirt at a particular location. We also started a small initiative on some of these campuses where we're trying to buy plastics from communities. So in the long run, the environmental club will still be sustainable because the proceeds from the farm will go directly towards that initiative. So students will now buy plastic bags from the community and sell it. So we also have a recycle facilities in Liberia. It's going to take us a long time to achieve these things, but we know that it depends on people who have always made change. The ideas that we are able to change the mind and harness young people to be able to think rightly, that our future is not just about consuming everything, but it's about making sure that the generation yet unborn can have access to what we have access to now. We know that it's important that we help this world, as the world leaders have already passed what we call Sustainable Development Goal. In Liberia, we need to start a small grassroots movement, and U.S. Spring Solution is leading that process.